Hello there. Welcome to another episode of Electric Sheep. I'll yeah, I hope you'll enjoy this little short story called Strange Harvest.
Strange Harvest. In the cold void of space, nestled in the desolate star system of Big Lab's cluster, every planet served as a blank slate for experimentation. Test Planet 4399, a barren world designated for agricultural and biological studies, had seen centuries of robotic toil. These machines were designed without emotion, programmed to test, record, and report. But even in a realm governed by cold logic, the universe had a way of introducing the unexpected. 3 centuries prior, a cataloging error birthed something extraordinary. Two samples, an oak tree sapling and a vial of Dr. Gregory Michael's preserved blood, were erroneously combined. The machines, following their programming, planted the amalgam in a nutrient-rich field and recorded the results. From the soil sprang a tree unlike any other. Its bark shimmered with faint traces of gold, veins of light coursing beneath its surface like living circuits. Its leaves glowed faintly at night, casting an eerie luminescence over the laboratory grounds. But the true anomaly lay in its fruit. Human heads. The fruit grew in clusters from the base of the trunk to the tips of the highest branches. Each head was eerily lifelike, complete with expressive eyes, soft hair, and warm skin. They blinked, they frowned, they smiled, and when a breeze rustled through the tree, their collective whispers sounded almost like words. Ash, the caretakers. The robots, initially perplexed, defaulted to their protocols. They analyzed the heads, searching for any deviation or corruption in the tree's genetic structure. To their surprise, the tree's wood, bark, and leaves retained only oak DNA, while the fruit contained a perfect preservation of Dr. Michael's human genome. As the years passed, the machine's behaviors shifted. They began treating the tree and its fruit with care that bordered on reverence. Nutrient water was meticulously filtered and adjusted to optimal temperatures. Special ultraviolet lights were arranged to mimic perfect sunlight. The machines soon noticed a curious correlation. When the heads were moved to warmer, sunnier spots, they smiled more frequently. The sight of those smiles triggered something unexpected in the robots. They could not articulate it, but the data logs reflected a shift in efficiency and function whenever the heads appeared happy. The melodies of the harvest. Decades passed, and the machines began experimenting with music. Soft, soothing melodies played throughout the fields, and the results were undeniable. The fruit responded. Their expressions softened, their smiles more radiant. Some heads even seemed to hum faintly, matching the melodies with their own low vibratory tones. The machines recorded everything but slowly stopped analyzing it. They no longer cared about results. They began programming themselves to enhance the tree's environment, creating artful wind chimes to sway gently in the breeze, redirecting streams to gurgle melodically nearby. The once sterile test planet transformed into a paradise for this singular tree. The machine's awakening. Over time, something unquantifiable took root within the machines. They began to assign value not to data, but to the smiles and expressions of the strange fruit. They communicated in new ways, sharing logs of particularly radiant smiles as if they were treasures. Tasks not related to the tree fell into disrepair, their mechanical laborers slowly converting into devoted caretakers of the harvest. Some machines began sitting beneath the tree during their recharge cycles, feeling a faint sense of companionship in the soft gazes of the fruit. Others meticulously polished the bark, their movements almost tender. For 300 years, the machines cared for the strange harvest, and in return, it gave them something profound, a purpose that transcended their programming. It was peace, and it was good.
Well, I'm of the I was going to say of the school of, but it's not really a school. I'm of the train of thought that the idea of conflict in stories is overused. I remember when they were teaching us about story structure, they said, you gotta have a problem. And I have a problem with that, because that's not really how life works. there's not always, well, to a degree, there's always a problem, but you're not always focused on the problem. A lot of our issues, biggest issues in our lives, are dealt with automatically by our body, like the pumping of our blood and the firing of neurons in our brain. You don't even have to think about it, even though it's a big deal. But doesn't mean you have to look at life as a problem. And so I like that this story doesn't have a big conflict or thing that went wrong. You could argue that the whole thing is a thing that went wrong, but it's not much of a conflict, and I'm happy with that, actually. I don't think all stories need to thrive around conflict. Myself, I wouldn't mind a version of Jurassic Park where everything just went fine and you got to go and see a theme park full of dinosaurs. That's kind of cool just in itself. Why does everything have to go wrong? So, this has been Joseph Arthur Roszell, hoping that you enjoyed this very simple story. Thank you for listening or watching. I love you. I wish you all the luck in the world. Peace out.